bugs croaking over the last couple of days, so in some areas it is starting. But here in Victoria, we're really quite early April. They still haven't started to really go yet. But I thought I would check out some local state forest just to kind of making sure I'm keeping eyes on the places that I want to keep eyes on. You can hear there's a little stream below me. The plan is today is to follow that stream down the valley. We've already been walking for about an hour or so. Got the backpack on, got some antlers in there if I need to make some rattling. I did bump a buck and a doe, fallow buck and doe, on the way in here as well, so they're in the area, which is really good. I haven't actually been to this spot before. It's the first time I've actually been here, so it's a bit of a roll of the dice, but I like to live dangerously. Anyway, we'll back out, see what's out there. As you can see behind me, we're hunting in some really thick rainforest today, which personally I love. I think it's heaps of fun, but it does make traversing very, very difficult. I mean, you have the advantage that the ground is wet, so it's not crackly, but it's just thick, super thick. First sign of deer poo, my guess would be that this is from a fallow doe. You can tell because the bill is smaller than the buck's bill. Recently I actually did a lesson on signs of deer for the huntingcourses.com.au website, and there's actually a really good resource that I highly recommend. In that lesson that shows you various deer poo next to each other, so you can see like a red stag's poo next to a hind's poo next to a fellow buck's poo next to a doe's poo. Super, super useful. Also a comparison between deer poo, goat poo and pig poo, which isn't always super clear. Life-size pictures, which is pretty cool. It's a great resource. Definitely check it out. I'll drop a link below. But that's a really good sign. So, what I didn't mention is that we're going from the top of the valley all the way to the bottom, which is about 3 kilometres. And I'm happy if I cover even a quarter of that, moving really slowly. There's no point busting through them, just blowing everything out, especially because I don't know the area. But it looks like here there's a bit of a game trail. I don't want to get too far down the creek. I certainly don't want to be in the creek bed. If I can maintain a bit of elevation, which will help me see, that's good. But like again, this country is just so thick. This is a really open area that we're in right now, which is beautiful, which is why I stopped to film, because filming that thick stuff isn't fun. The other good thing is that the thermals have just shifted. So the wind is now coming up the mountain, blowing past me, which is good. So as long as I continue following that creek down, then we should have the wind in our favour. But we'll just move very quietly, very quietly. So I found myself a little sniper spot where I've got a decent view of the valley floor below me. I mean, it's still pretty thick, but I've got a decent view. Got myself a tree here on the right. What I thought I might do is I might try and encourage the start of the rut. I've got this little croaking caller. I'll drop a link below to where you can get it. And it's got a ribbed end to it, so it makes a croak sound. Now, I'm terrible at croaking, so this is not a lesson in croaking. This is pretty much what to avoid. But I thought I'd give it a try at least, and I mean, hopefully we could bring in some does, or if not, some young bucks or old bucks who are keen to start the rut. So we'll see how we go. Put my glasses on too so I can see. so strong. Glasses fog up like instantly. It's really annoying. You don't see me get annoyed at very many things. That's one thing I get really annoyed at. Maybe no one wants to rut. Very brutish this year. You'll note the sound of this particular collar isn't that deep, and that's because the diaphragm is obviously quite small. If you wanted to get a lot of resonance in a really deep fallow buck croak, you'd want something much, much bigger that pushes more air. But this is pretty hard to beat given how small and compact it is. Well, I say pretty hard to beat. It hasn't pulled anything in yet. Give it a chance though. Give it a chance, come on. Believe in me. I don't know if I'm talking to you or if I'm talking to myself. Or the caller. So, for a bit of context, for all you Queenslanders and South Australians and WAs and NTs, if you want to get interested in public land hunting, this is what it looks like. Not super easy to get through, but fun. Get prepared to do some miles. So this is cool, worth showing. This was the game trail that I was just walking across, and I came across this. This is called a thrashing. You can see the tips there that have been broken further up. So this is something unique that fallow bucks do, and they do it to mark their territory, also to remove velvet, but really it's about spreading their scent around, and they'll come in and they'll thrash up against saplings like this and break them apart. You can tell by how aged this one is in its coloration that it's not super fresh, but it has been broken fairly recently. Very, very cool. There's a fallow buck in the area doing some damage, which is great. Gunshot. I don't know if the audio on the mic heard that, but that was just a gunshot. I'm not sure if it was in this valley or the next. Second gunshot at the bottom of the valley, at the end of the valley. Well, that's interesting. With the side of that thrashing back there, I thought it'd be worth doing some rattling. Now with that gunshot, I'm not so sure. First of all, I don't want to bring him in, thinking that there's a couple of bucks fighting. But also, I might just leave it a little minute, let everything settle, see if anything moves up the valley. It's been spooked. Alright, that's not time. Get these antlers out and do some. Now, before anyone says anything in the comments, because I know that they will, yes, these are big antlers to bring with you and to rattle. I know you can buy smaller ones. I've used smaller ones. I have real antlers that are smaller that I take around sometimes. The thing is, if you want that really deep resonance, that's only going to be achieved by a set of antlers that has a decent sized palm. Now again, these aren't massively thick antlers, but they're big enough to make that resonance, so we'll just try some rattling. Nothing. We'll move on. It was ambitious, I knew that. It's pretty early in the season. Given we haven't heard any croaking, it really is trying to bring on the rut as opposed to responding to the rut, which is what really that's designed to do. I say that as I absolutely... Well, that's all. Alright. Good opportunity to talk about these boots that have saved my butt a bunch over the last 6 months. These they were the prototype of the new Tibets from Lower. They're now just the regular Tibets that when you buy a pair of Tibets, these that you pay you get. But I've been wearing these for about 6 months now. Absolutely loving them. Really, really good. They've got some better features than the other Tibets. Better grip on the bottom, more padding, some other small adjustments. But again, they're a great pair of boots. I wear these all the time. I wear the Tibets, I wear the Rangers, I wear the High Countries. All really solid pairs of punting boots and hiking boots. So I highly recommend, if you're interested in boots, definitely check out Lower. They're worth the price because they last a lifetime. And I have found that you don't have to wear them in either. You can literally buy them that same afternoon or morning, go out for a hunt, and they work beautifully. So, Tibets, they'll get you out of a hole. Okay, so it's getting closer to about 10 o'clock now. So we've kind of lost our golden window. But that's okay. As you can see around here, this area is so incredibly big. That's the bottom of the stream that we've been walking down. We're trying to saddle. I don't think it's worth going through all this thick stuff and just pushing all the way to the bottom. I don't think that's going to help us. We might bump some deer. We may not. I think probably a better use of our time is to head back up the top, maybe go the opposite direction back up, and check out some of this other kind of more fringe country. I don't think we'll be able to hunt it today, although we may get lucky, but it's more about checking out and doing some recon. It's amazing. I find it really, really interesting that, the rut is a period and the roar is a period that's very fluid depending on state by state, but also region by region. So, for instance, I was in South Australia about a week and a half ago, and the fallow bucks were already croaking. And then I know that the reds have been roaring up in kind of central Queensland for the last week already, and the fallow just started. And it's odd that the reds would start before the fallow. Traditionally, in Victoria at least, the roar happens after the rut, which is when the fallow start croaking. So again, very, very region specific. I just heard a snap. I've just heard a stick snap over there. Unfortunately, my wind is terrible, but there's nothing I can do about it. And I've just found this. Look. That's a bugaboo. See how much bigger it is than the fallow boo. It's like twice the size. I reckon there's a buck just around this corner. We'll see how we go. You guys wouldn't just believe what happened. Unfortunately, I didn't get any of it on camera because it all happened very quickly. But I heard a sound off to the left, and I went to investigate, and there were 2 black does feeding. The camera's shaking because I'm shaking. So I didn't have time to grab the camera, but I put the tripod down and I rested the rifle on the tripod. Shot the first one in the shoulder, saw it jump, run into the bush, and then the second one ran to the spot where still shaking, where the other one was, and stopped and turned, and I had a clear shot of that, so I shot that one too, and I'm pretty sure I've hit both square in the lungs. So I'm going to go have a look. We're going to see if there's blood. I'm pretty confident there's going to be blood. And we're going to find these 2 deer that I've just dropped. How crazy is that? That's insane. That's insane. All right, let's go. Let's go check these deer out. Blood. Keep looking. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's hit. She's hit good. There's good blood already, so oh, there's a massive chunk there. Look at that. Yeah. She should be somewhere around here. We'll keep looking. Look, we may as well do this in real time. Why not? Oh yeah. More blood. More blood. Where's it going? I actually have a lesson in blood tracking available on huntingcourses.com.au if you're interested. Although this isn't really much like tracking because it's like absolutely everywhere. Oh, can you see that bum? There she is. That wasn't far at all. And look, blood all the way up to her. Beautiful black doe. How good's that? How good's that? Hey, darling. Hey, darling. Let's get you field dressed. And that is a long shot. Public land meat. Gotta love it.